The video you're about to see is for educational purposes only. What you do with this information is at your own risk. Thank you for watching. Enjoy.
How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be setting up and installing the PS2 emulator on the Nintendo Switch. So let's go ahead and check it out. Okay, so before we get started, you do need to have a moddable Switch in order for this to work. Either the unpatched version or the modded chipped version. Both of them work, but it needs to be moddable. On top of that, you also need to have Ubuntu already set up on your modded Switch, because that's what we're going to be using. And I wanted to do a whole tutorial guide on both, but it would be a really long video. So I will have a link in the description to my tutorial guide on installing Ubuntu. And then after that, you can go ahead and follow this video after. Okay, so here I have a fresh install of Ubuntu, but just to let you know, you don't have to have a fresh install. If you already have Ubuntu set up, you can still follow this video from start to finish, because the steps are exactly the same. The reason why I'm starting from fresh is because I am setting up this SD card for a friend, and I thought it would be a good opportunity to show y'all from beginning to end, because mine's already set up. So with that, just letting you know, and let's go ahead and continue. Okay, so when using Ubuntu, whenever you want to install anything, the first thing that you always got to do is check for system updates. So let's start with that. I'm going to go ahead and navigate to this Files tab here and click on it. And then inside Files, I'm going to click on Home tab and then right click in this empty area and then open a terminal. Here you're going to want to type in this sudo apt update and then press enter. Type your password that you created Ubuntu with and check to see if there's any updates. Now, if it says that everything's up to date, like mine, then you should be good to go. But if there is a message that says there's this many packages available for update, you're going to want to go ahead and type in sudo apt upgrade and then press enter. But mine's already upgraded, so it says here that 0 was upgraded, 0 everything. So just showing you that this is the proper way to update your system before you do anything with installing. Now that we're done here, what we need to do is we need to now open up the Megascript and update from there, because this version of PS2 emulator requires you to have the Flatpak application installed. I don't really know much about that, but with the Megascript, once you run it there, it does the Flatpak for you and it installs those dependencies. So that's what we need to do here. On the desktop, you're going to want to click here for search your computer. And once you're there, you can go ahead and type in the L4. There you go. And once you see this L4T Megascript, go ahead and open it. This is saying that it needs your password, so just type in the password that you use to create this Ubuntu. Then authenticate. So if it's your first time opening up the Megascript, it's going to have to build and install the dependencies for it. So it may take a little while. I forgot to say that you need to have Wi-Fi connected in order for any of this to work. But I'll most likely put a message in the beginning when we first start. Okay, so once the Megascript has been built and installed, and you're going to have this message here that says, welcome to the Megascript, just click on OK. You're going to have this other message here that says how much space you have, what kind of Ubuntu you're using, and the model of the Switch that you have. So just click OK. Once you have this option here, you're going to want to just have all categories checked, and then click on Go to Selection. Once that's here, it has all these categories that comes with the Megascript that you can go ahead and look through. But since we're only doing the PS2 emulation, it's not on here. But in fact, we need to install this auto updater script, because this is what we need in order to install the Flatpak and the dependencies. So we're just going to have to run this one time. This may take a while as well. So just go ahead and install items. Type in your password you used to create Ubuntu. And then this actually may take a while. So I will catch up to you when this is done. Right now it's 5:07. We'll see how long it took. Okay, so you're going to have some messages here that kind of help you out. You're going to want to click on yes for everything. It says, do you want to remove the snap plugin genome? Think of it as bloatware. So just click on yes. On any of the questions it gives you, either on here or as a pop-up message, just click on yes. And look, it says right here, Flatpak. That's what we're looking for. Okay, so I have another message here. It says, do you want to remove any unused programs? If there's any, to attempt broken ones, just click on yes. Okay, I got another message here. It says, after this operation, this will be added to your space. Oh no, it's actually saying that it's going to free some space. So you're going to want to type in Y and then press enter. Okay, I got another message here that it says 0. This is like doing a system update. It's better to do the update here than the regular system update. But I have the same thing, 0 upgraded, 0 installed, but the 6 things were removed. So I'll just type in Y. Okay, so once the script is done, you're going to have this message that says bye. And just go ahead and exit the Megascript. Once you do that, a safe thing to do is just go ahead and do a restart to make sure we have everything updated, and the restart kind of just makes it, you know, set. It's a safe thing. So like it's just power right here, power button, and then shut down, restart. Okay, so after we did a restart, now we can go ahead and download the PS2 emulator. Now I had a hard time thinking of how I wanted to be able to download this emulator because it's really hard to find. So I went ahead and just added the repo to my GitHub page. And if needed, I can probably do a zipped file version as well. I just wanted to do the GitHub so that way you can do the install from the Switch itself. So with that, we got to go to my GitHub page. If you enter a Chromium browser, if you have any Wi-Fi connection, then you should be able to use the internet. Here, just going to type in the password I used to make Ubuntu. I don't think it matters really. But once you have a web browser open, you're going to want to type in my channel name. Type in with one hand here. And then GitHub. Just search for that. It should be the first option here. I'll have a link in the description of the full URL. But if you see this option here, GitHub eradicatinglove, just go ahead and click on this. And then once you're here, you're going to want to click on the tab that's called repositories. And then you're going to want to scroll down till you see the Aethersx2 Flatpak. Just go ahead and click on this link here. And once you're on this link, you're going to have this file right here, which is the PS2 emulator. So you're going to want to click on this link here. Once it takes you to this page, you're going to look for this option here where it says raw. You're going to want to click on download raw file. Just let the download start. And then now that we have the emulator, we can go ahead and close out of this browser. And then we can go ahead and now try to install it. Okay, so now to install the emulator, we can navigate to the Files tab here and click on it. Once this opens up, we can navigate to Downloads tab, click on it, because this is where we downloaded the emulator. Once you're inside the Downloads tab, you're going to want to right click anywhere in this empty space and then open in Terminal. Once you have the terminal open, you're going to want to make sure that the emulator is in the right directory for this terminal. Right now it's in Downloads, and we are in Downloads here. And once you made sure that is correct, you can go ahead and type in this sudo space flatpak space install space dash system space period / com dot aether, I think that's what it's called, dot aether again, eradicatinglove dot flatpak. So make sure that the spelling is correct because that's really important. Make sure it looks like mine, and it's the sudo flatpak install dash system period / com dot aethersx2 dot aethersx2 dot flatpak. So once you made sure that it's spelled correctly, press enter. Type in the password that you use to create Ubuntu. And then here it says required runtime for this platform. It's found in remote FlatHub. Do you want to install it? Type in yes. So here it's doing this permissions for you. It says proceed with the changes with the system. Go ahead and type in yes. Just install some extra dependencies for you. I think this is the free desktop platform is what it's most important. And here the Aethersx2 is the one that's being installed. Okay, so after it says that the installation is complete and it brings you back to your directory for downloads, we can go ahead and close this out. And we need to do one more restart because it's not going to show that it's installed yet until we do a restart. So let's go ahead and do that. Click power, shut down, and then restart. Okay, so after coming back from restarting Ubuntu, we can check to see if the Aethersx2 emulator is now installed. So go ahead and click on search your computer now and type in the letter A, and you should be able to see the emulator right here. Once you see it, you can highlight it and then drag it to the taskbar to lock it. And then now once you open up Ubuntu after powering off, it's always going to be here and you don't have to go to search your computer anymore. But it's up to you. You can not have this either if you don't like. I just think it's a ease of access kind of thing. But once you have the emulator, we can just open it up to see if it opens up. And once it does, for the first time, you're going to see the no games in supported formats were found. And this is talking about both the games and the BIOS files. Now, unfortunately, I cannot show you on how to find either of them. So I hope you can with Google and get sorted out there. I do have my social media links that you can reach out to me if you have any type of questions. All those links are in the description, and except for the Discord. So only the social media links. Just throwing it out there. Now that I said that, it does have a directory, but to make things easier for myself, I like to create the directory and have it easier to access from there. So this is what I'm talking about. In order to get to the directory, it has a whole bunch of files that you have to go through inside the main installation files of Ubuntu, and I don't like that. But what I like to do is here on the Home tab, once you click on Files, click on Home, and in here in this area, we're going to want to create a new folder and name it the emulator, Aethersx2. And this is going to be like retropie and dolphin that create their main files here. That way you can manually make your directories of the BIOS files and the ROMs. So once you create the folder, enter it, and then create another folder. I'm going to name this one BIOS, and then create another folder, and then name this one ROMs. That's it. Once you have your ROMs, you're going to put them in here. Once you have the BIOS, you're going to put them in there. So that's what I'm going to be doing later. But for now, I'm going to set up these directories so that way when I add my files, I can go ahead and search them after. So let's open up Aethersx2 again. And here it says add a game directory. I'm going to just click on that option here. And then I'm going to click on my name here. It's going to be your name, of course. Once you click on that, you're going to want to look for the folder that you created of this emulator, Aethersx2, and double click on it. And then here, we're going to have the game directory. So we're going to want to click on the ROMs. Don't enter it. Just click on the ROMs folder and then click on choose. Now it says here, would you like to recursively check? And you're going to want to click on yes. This is just that way every time you add more games, it automatically does a scan and checks for you. So there it is. Now we have the ROMs folder set up. Now we need to set up the BIOS folder. So click on settings here, then click on BIOS. And here, see, it has, you need to go into all these folders in order to get into the BIOS files. But I'm just going to go through the ones that I created the folder here. So if it doesn't show up for you, you can just do the same thing. Click on your name here, click on the Aethersx2. This time click on BIOS, don't enter it, just click on the folder and then click on choose. Now it's going to look for the BIOS files there. And all I need to do is just add my ROMs in my BIOS files. So that's what I'm going to do there. And then I'm going to show you that it found my BIOS files and my ROMs as well. So now we can go ahead and do that. So let me do that and I'll get right back to you. Okay, so I just added my BIOS files and my ROMs. Now let's check to see if Aethersx2 has picked them up. So once we open it up, it should show now the games, and here they are. I only added these two. And talking about the games, once you find them, if you have some that are separate ones that have a bin and a queue, just add both of them to the ROMs folder and it'll pick up one of them. But both of these games, I'm trying them out because they both have different settings that you need to change in order to make them run okay. So that's what we're going to be doing in this video, just as an example. But talking about the settings, we can also check to see if the BIOS has been picked up, and I don't know if I'll have it blurred out, but I'll just show that, you know, I had some picked up and now I'm able to install my games or play them because it has compatibility. So now what we need to do is here in the settings, we're going to go down to emulation, and this is where it's most important on where you need to configure your games. So I don't really know much about configuration on these things. So if you know more than me, then please let me know in the comments if I'm doing anything wrong or anything like that. But that I know of, I've changed this to 100%. Helps me out. And have the settings as normal. Make sure this is checked. And these three settings, or these two settings here, are the only ones that I mess around with in order to make my games run as smooth as possible. So for Maximal, that game that I have here, it only needs to have this 100% normal speed and it should be good. Now for Sly Cooper, you're going to have to change this to 50% underclocked and have the EE cycle skipping as maximum underclock as well. So this one will have maximum underclock and it'll have your game video footage at 60 FPS or try to, even though your frame rate is like at 30. So you'll be hearing the audio good and stuff like that. But you can mess around with these two options because not all games will have the same setup. So if I were to run Maximo at this settings, it will be very slow and very choppy. And so I would have to change them back. So just let you know that these two options, after you change this to 100, I think you're going to only mess with these two options here. I don't really know anything else about changing these. I've unchecked them and I've had worse results. So like I said, if you know more than me, then just leave a comment and I'll let others know after. But other than that, we're good here. And then we can go to graphics. And here, this will be up to you if you want to change to 4x3 of the standard PS2 screen, or you can change it to 16:9 and have it spread out. So I'm going to assume, you know, on some of the games, it'll probably look more pixelated if it's spread out more or zoomed in, but I haven't had any issues with anything 16:9. And other than that, I leave everything as default. Here on rendering, this is the one like I showed on my previous video. If the game is running at 60 FPS with no issues, no chopping, no up and down on the frame rate, you can actually change the internal resolution from native PS2 to 720p. So that's pretty good. And I guess if it's an even easier game to run, maybe you can change it to this one as well. But I don't know if that matters if you can't do like 4K on the Switch. So you could probably do 1080p. I don't know how it looks, but you can go up to 720p, and I think that's pretty good already. So Sly Cooper, I have to leave it on native because it's such a demanding game. So also with that, the more demanding the game is, you probably won't be able to do 720. But Maximal, I did have it on 720 on my previous video. So that would be the only other thing that you change as well here. Textures, I leave that as default. This is as default as well. This is on-screen display. I like to have show FPS and show resolution. so we can see what video rate we're on, or you don't have to have that. The FPS is the most important, and advanced is as well as I think you change this one to Vulkan. Yeah, on renderer. Here on renderer, on advanced, on renderer, you're going to change this to Vulkan. And then here, the adapter will be the NVIDIA Tegra X1, because that's what the Switch has. So once you have this on Vulkan, then we're good. So this is all the settings that I know of. Audio, everything else is kind of set up. This also has achievements, so that's pretty cool. I didn't know that. I don't know how to do it, but it does have that. So now we are done with the settings. And I left my emulation as good for the Maximo, so that way I can show you that it's working. Okay, so now that we're done with the settings, we can go ahead and close out of it. And the next thing I want to talk about is the cover art. So if you click on this option here, this is where you're going to see your games that have cover art. But since it does not come with it automatically, you have to manually add it yourself. So there's two ways you can do this. You can right click on your game and then set cover art image from here if you have it, or you can use the tools option that the emulator comes with. It has a cover downloader option here in tools. So let's go ahead and do that. In the cover downloader option, here you have to add a URL address that has cover art, so that way the emulator can automatically search through it with Wi-Fi. So I do have a URL for you. It's just really long to type out, so bear with me on that. There's actually two of them. There's going to be an option for standard covers, which I'm going to show on this video, and then there's going to be a different link that is for 3D covers, so you can choose the one that you want. In this video, I'm going to be doing the cover art that is just standard cover art that you can get. So type this URL address here: https://raw.githubusercontent.com/x Eleanor /ps2 covers /main /covers /default money sign. I don't know what the symbol is. I'm just gonna say open bracket serial close bracket .jpg. Oops, JPG. And make sure that it's spelled correctly, or else it's not going to work when you click on start. But let me make sure that mine is spelled correctly with my notes. So it's raw GitHub user content.com /x Eleanor /ps2 covers /main /covers /default money symbol serial.jpg. So if everything is spelled correctly and you have a good internet connection, you could click on start and it should automatically find those cover art for your games. So there you go. It popped up for me on my screen, so I hope it does for you. And that's pretty much it with cover art. That's pretty simple. The only thing is that when you go back into the cover art, you have to retype the URL addresses if you add more games. So in my opinion, it's best to create a text document here and then add the URL addresses, so that way you can right click and copy to this area instead of typing it out. That's up to you. Now, the last thing I want to talk to you about is the controller setup. So that one's also pretty simple. You just got to get your controllers, make sure they're paired. And the only way you know that they're paired is if you can move the mouse and right click and things like that. So this is paired. So what we need to do is put your controllers down. We know they're paired. We're going to go into settings, then go into controllers. And here we're going to click on the controller port DualShock 2. Once we do that, we're going to go for automatic mapping for us. So we're going to click on this, and if it shows your Switch Joy-Cons, then you're going to want to click on this, and it should automatically put all the buttons for you. So that's it. Now it's automatically mapped. You could choose to save if you like, but I think it automatically saves for you. I'm not too sure on that. But that's how you set up the controllers for the Switch. So that's it. We are done with setting everything up. Now we should be able to just play our games. Now I wanted to mention, I'm not sure if this works this way because I know I showed you how to set up your emulation and make sure that you mess with these two options here to make your games run better. I think if you right click here and then click on, is it properties? And then I think here has its own emulation settings that you can change. So this one I'm going to leave like this. Let's just test it out. Properties, and you can change it here automatically. So this one needs to be like this. And we should be good to go. So let's see if this is still the same. That's still the same, but I don't know if it changed up here. This is still the same. So I think this can be set to your specific settings. So that's pretty awesome to know. I did not know that before. So that's pretty much it. Now we're done. If you were to play your title, you can double click on it and it should automatically start playing. And here is the FPS. So if you want full screen, you can double click on it and there you go. So everything should work. I should using my Joy-Cons now. Once you're inside here, for every emulator, you need to disable your Joy-Cons so that way you don't have the mouse function. So go ahead and push the screen capture, and now I can't move the mouse because now it's enabled for the game. There you go. Then you can go ahead and enjoy your games. So that's pretty much it. Everything is running for me. Let me get out of this because I don't know if you can hear me. If you want to get out of this, you can use your Joy-Cons if you like. Double click and then go to system and then shut down with saving or without saving. Since I don't have nothing saved, it doesn't matter. But if you want to have your same game files, then you're going to want to shut down with saving. So there you go. That's pretty much it. Everything is working for me just fine. I hope everything is working for you as well. I don't think I left out any information. And if you made it this far, I really appreciate that you watch everything. And I hope everything works for you with the different types of games that you want to try. So I know a lot of the heavy games don't work very well. You can try and mess with the settings as best as you can, but if it doesn't work, well, the fact that we have some PlayStation 2 is actually pretty incredible in that sense. But other than that, everything's working for me. I hope it's working for you. If it's not, you can leave a comment down below and I'll try and help you out as best as I can, because I still don't know that much, but I'll try. You can leave a comment if it does work for you. Let me know what does work for you. If you try a game and it does work, let me know, because others are interested. And I'm going to be doing some other videos where I post gameplay because people have been requesting and things like that. So let me know. And thank you for everyone for the support of this channel, supporting for me. I really appreciate it. And those that have donated to the channel, I really appreciate that. Well, it helps a lot. So thank you very much for that. And as always, I love y'all, and I'll see y'all in the next one.